Hello, I'm Dave Zersen, and today is Monday, September 21st. It's a special day, but I'm already thinking ahead to tomorrow morning when every Tuesday my wife makes blueberry pancakes. It's a tradition in our house, but because of the uniqueness of today, Monday, I'm asking if she won't change the recipe a little bit and instead make silver dollar pancakes. Why? Because this is the day of St. Matthew, apostle and evangelist. And Matthew is known to us as the tax collector who, standing at the tax tables in Capernaum, collected silver dollars and other coins as people were passing by. It's a special day in the history of the church, remembered in Catholic churches, Episcopal churches, Lutheran churches. And interestingly enough, this man whom we remember was not particularly well liked. We need to know something about the role of the tax collector in order to understand that. The Romans contracted with Jews to collect the taxes, and the Romans told them how much they needed, but the tax collector was free to charge what he wanted. So that sometimes the prices which were charged by the tax collectors were exorbitant, and they were not liked by their fellow Jews, not only because they were dealing with a heathen government, these collectors, but because they were cheating the people. And so they were considered sinners. Tax collectors, sinners. It's worth asking ourselves a couple of questions as we think about St. Matthew. One is why Jesus chose him. All we know is that one day as Jesus was walking along near Capernaum, Matthew was at the tax table, and Jesus said, "Follow me." And Matthew did. Who knows what Matthew was thinking about in the days and the weeks before as he reflected on his job, his profession as a tax collector. But this was a moment which gave him time to think about who he wanted to become. So it's interesting when you think about the fact that Jesus chose a number of people who might be questionable in our eyes. After all, Judas betrayed Jesus. Peter disowned Jesus. Philip and Andrew argued with one another about who was to be greatest in the kingdom. And Matthew was a person who had cheated his own people. What did Jesus have in mind? I think that Jesus was interested in transformation. He was interested in changing people, in converting people. And when he saw what Matthew was, he reflected on what Matthew could become. And he invited him to follow, and Matthew in fact did, and became a disciple whose name has come down to us as one of the most popular names of all the biblical names that people use. Down to the centuries, the biblical name Matthew has been used more than any other name. And Matthew, reflecting on the changes that needed to take place in his life, did something rather interesting. In Matthew's Gospel, there are about 18 stories and parables which are unique to Matthew and are not found in Mark or in Luke. And about 7 of those references have to do with money, have to do with treasure, with debts, with ethics. And it's important, I think, to Matthew to realize that as he works with people, these words from Jesus dealing with his own profession, dealing with the very issues that he wrestled with, are important for people like us to understand. So he talks to us about the differences that can be made in our lives when we look at things from Jesus' perspective. And so Matthew gives us a whole new opportunity as we reflect on our lives to think differently than we've thought before. I'm wondering what Jesus is calling us to today. What is Jesus calling you to? What moment of conversion, what gospel moment in your life is being summoned so that you can see things differently than you've always seen them? What new opportunity is waiting for you as a result of our reflecting today, St. Matthew's Day, on some of the changes that could be made because Jesus stopped to invite us to come and follow?